Hello everyone and welcome to the review show. Great racing today at the Valley for Moir Stakes Day. We're going to look at a couple of races from Sydney as well. We're going to look at the Moonee Valley feature races in randomised order. Overall today at the Valley, I think it was advantageous to be out in the middle of the track, and Maiwa and Lafraca won from last. So I thought it was pretty even, to be honest. You didn't want to be too far away on the corner, but it wasn't too advantageous to be in the lead or on speed for that fact. We'll start with race number 6. It was the listed McKenzie Stakes for the 3-year-old colts and geldings over 1,200 metres. The highly touted debutant from the Clinton McDonald stable, Rosberg, managed to get the win, and it was a good win in the end. Bakash and Beskar got to the front, and they tried to set it up for themselves to win, and they slowed down the tempo quite significantly, as you can see in the top left corner there. The standard time comparison, I'm pretty sure from memory they went about 1.25 seconds inside standard time. It was pretty much bang on average to the 400 metre mark, and they've really come home fast. Talks from Clinton McDonald before the race or after the race, I can't exactly remember, but he wanted to try and get Rosberg to a Coolmore Stud Stakes. Now, that is definitely on the cards for Rosberg, but just the way it raced today and seeing the mere size of the horse, I think it should run in 2 weeks' time in the Caulfield Guineas Prelude. You guys can let me know down below what you think Rosberg should target, but just the size of the horse and the way I thought it raced today, I thought it would be suited to the step up in 1,400 metres next start to the Caulfield Guineas Prelude in 2 weeks' time. Don't know where Clinton McDonald's going to go, but he said the Coolmore Stud Stakes at some point today, so I assume he's still going on that path, but gee, I wouldn't be surprised if they try and go to a Caulfield Guineas. In terms of the others, I thought Planet Red was really good through the line, and Stay Cosmic was the other one who missed the start, and if it didn't miss the start, it probably would have won because it only lost by that much and it missed the start by that much. We'll now take a look at the Chautauqua Stakes, and gee, there's a nice one that went around here and won dominantly. It was Angel Capital, was very well backed in the late betting, and as I said last preparation, I think it was after that Angel Capital win in the Autumn Stakes on the review show that I did back then, I said we've got to watch out for horses that get really late support first up. That's exactly what Angel Capital had, and it won very dominantly in the end. I was a bit worried throughout the run with Angel Capital. Red Hot Nick got to the front and really slowed it down, and Angel Capital was on the fence and back worse than midfield for that particular race, even though it was only about 2 pairs back. I thought, gee, D-Lane's going to need a bit of luck here, but once he got to the outside and trucked up, he was always going to go straight past them. He was clearly better than the rest of them class-wise, Angel Capital. In terms of the others, like 4 of them finished abreast from 2nd to 5th. I guess out of that, Zoo Sensation would have had the toughest run out of all of them. You know, he missed the start a bit, which is unlike him, and then Jamie Mellum sent him 3 wide up into 3rd position, which I didn't think was too bad because Zoo Sensation was no chance over racing at the back of the field. So I didn't think it was the worst decision by Jamie Mellum there, but only managed to run 4th, I'm pretty sure, in the end. So, look, I think Zoo Sensation out of the beaten brigade has to be the one to follow, but gee, Angel Capital is going to go places. Now we'll take a look at race 8, the So You Think Stakes, taken out by Desert Lightning. I was quite happy because I was on Desert Lightning and it just won from a good mare in Moira. Now, it was one of the only races across the whole card today at the Valley where they went outside standard time to the 800 and between the 800 to the 400 metre mark. The market late really gravitated towards Glint of Silver and also Desert Lightning, the 2 most likely leaders in the race, which they ended up sitting 1st and 2nd in runs. So if you're a late punter or you're just following the market late and seeing and trying to think logically, why is this horse being backed in? Well, in this case, it was because they were going to be up the front and likely to set a slow speed in front. So that's why the market gravitated towards Glint of Silver and Desert Lightning. And Desert Lightning was able to beat off Glint of Silver quite early and get the job done. Moira was really well backed, especially this morning. And it got, because attrition kicked up to try and keep Desert Lightning working around that first corner, and Moira was just presented the perfect opportunity to get some cover, 5th or 6th, one off the inside. So it was a perfect run for Moira. Although it couldn't pick up Desert Lightning, I'd rather be following Moira out of this race than Desert Lightning. In terms of the others, there was some horses that went around looking for further, such as Zardozi, Knight's Choice, Torrenzino, the Doctor of Love. I thought they all ran well without obviously winning because there's horses better than those at the 1500 meters today. Desert Lightning and Moira are the examples of that, especially Desert Lightning, who managed to get the job done. Now we'll look at race 7, the Atlantic Jewel Stakes, and it was taken out by Alpha Sophie in quite dominant fashion in the end. Now, even though Alpha Sophie's win was ultra impressive visually, I thought the win was actually better than what it looked, and it looked awesome because Alpha Sophie was over racing a bit in the mid stage of the race. It's still got a bit to learn, this 3-year-old filly by Capitalist, but it really picked them up late, showed its class and won. Now, horses that come across from Queensland to the Peter Moody stable have quite a good record, or at least from the northern states, including New South Wales. We've had Incentivize, who came over to the Peter Moody stable and won multiple Group 1s. We've had Chain of Lightning come across from New South Wales to the Peter Moody camp, who showed good potential and won a Group 1 TJ Smith. Now there's this girl in Alpha Sophie. Where does she get to this preparation? I'm hoping they target a Coolmore Stud Stakes, to be honest. I think she won't get much further than 1200 metres, at least this prep, just due to her tendency to over race, at least what she showed today. So I think Alpha Sophie is definitely a good horse in time, especially as a 4-year-old mare, 5-year-old mare. But in terms of the now, I'm hoping they target a Coolmore Stud Stakes. I thought the Black Booker out of the race, you know I love looking for hidden Black Bookers, was Miss Celine in the red and white checks. She got the perfect run, to be honest, just on the leader's back, but I thought she was really getting through the line late, looking for maybe the 1400 metre 1000 guineas prelude next start or something like that. In terms of the others, Salty Pearl flew up the inside, Custom was pretty good down the outside. Overall, follow the winner, and I think Miss Celine in the right race next start can get the job done. Now the feature, the Moir Stakes, will pick up the replay from when the barriers opened. And the main speed in the race was the two that I was expecting to go forward and look for the early lead in Midwest and also Escher. Escher and Midwest led this race, and to the 800 metres, it was pretty much bang on standard time. And once they sort of established their positions in front, it was from the 800 to the 400 metres that they slowed it up a bit and went nearly a second outside standard time, and then they flew home the last 400 metres. In terms of the key runners in the race, I remember I was watching the race with my dad, and I remember saying to Dad, gee, Barrack Keel's got a really good spot. It was just forward in midfield. It had a little bit of cover. It was obviously going to need a bit of luck, but it wasn't on the fence like Skybird, who we'll get into a bit later, but gee, it was held up. But Barrack Keel managed to get the gaps at the right time. Ben Allen drove through along the inside of Alabama Lass to get the win. Very, very good run, Alabama Lass. Really impressed with her return. Arabian Summer, a few were kicking up for at a price. Golden Boom, the 4th horse from the wide gate, was good. Even the 5th horse, Payline, who was only first up from the Chris and Corey Munt stable, was really good through the line. I feel for you if you were on Skybird. It was the horse that was really tanked into late. The market really gravitated towards Skybird, and it just had a poor spot. It was where I expected it to be, about off midfield on the inside, needing luck, and it didn't get any luck. Neon's was really good late. Escher couldn't handle the heat at its 3rd career start. I actually thought Oak Hill was really good. It had to go right back to settle last. It was weaving through the field late. Maybe a race down the Flemington Straight over 11 or 1200 metres next start for that horse. Follow Oak Hill. Overall, though, Barrack Keel keeps winning. It'll probably go to a Manicato, but it might run into Lady Shenandoah. I'll touch on the Concorde. We'll pick up the replay from the 600 metre mark, and gee, it was a very tough watch if you're on Lady Shenandoah. I don't think we're going to get much of a price, or Lady Shenandoah won't give anything else a chance. In future races this spring, I thought the one to keep an eye on, actually, the white blinkers that'll get to the inside of Jimmy Star. Tiger Shark, trained by the Clayton Douglas team, recorded the fastest last 600 metres of the race, the second fastest last 200 metres, just outside of Lady Shenandoah. I thought Lady Shenandoah and Tiger Shark were the runs of the race. Headwall managed to get the win. Obviously not totally surprised by that. It was in the market. It was drawn well to map well. It had good form dating back to last preparation. If you guys remember my Group 1 Spring Features Early Tips video, I had Headwall down at $15 for a Manicato. If it does go there, I think it's going to run a race head wall, but if Lady Shenandoah goes there, the extra 200 metres in distance, I can't see how head wall manages to beat Lady Shenandoah home, unless Lady Shenandoah has either drawn gate 1 or the absolute outside where head wall can gain a bit of an advantage on it. But overall, out of the race, look, Jimmy Star, it was a good first up run. Looking for maybe a little bit further, 11 or 1200 metres next start. Headwall, good win. Lady Shenandoah, obviously really unlucky. And Tiger Shark at a big price. Maybe follow that one next start. I thought it ran really well. We'll look at one more black booker from the Valley, and it comes out of the last race in the all white, the white blinkers, the white hat, the white colours, right at the back, called Helix. I was happy to throw in the black book out of today. I was on King Zephyr in the yellow, and gee, I expected him to pick up a bit quicker than what he did, and Lafraca just went past him. But I wasn't disappointed with King Zephyr's run. He was really picking up late, looking for 1400 metres next start. In terms of Helix, he was just left behind a bit on the corner, and he was really picking up late with Jamie Mellum in the saddle, getting to the outside of King Zephyr, recording a similar last 200 metres to that of King Zephyr. And Helix, well, it hasn't raced since December. It was off quite a long spell, and its last race in December, it finished second behind the Open. So I think we can follow Helix at its next couple of starts for a black booker. I thought King Zephyr was good in that race. Lafraca managed to record the win. The Futures Bet Series, I'm adding one horse in the Futures Bet Series out of today. Comes out of the Furious Stakes in Sydney, called Within the Law. Now, she's at the back with the white and the dark blue hat. I've already got a horse in the Futures Bets for a flight stakes in Karinska, but I'm happy to throw in Within the Law as well for the flight stakes. I was just so impressed with the way that even though she was little to no hope from that outside gate getting so far back, she absolutely pounded through the line. The final last 200 metres I thought was really impressive. The winner, Apocalyptic, even though it was a good win, it's a $3.50 favourite for the flight stakes compared to Within the Law at $5. Now, in my opinion, if you swap the runs, you swap the result. And Within the Law probably swaps prices with Apocalyptic in the flight stakes market if that eventuates today. So we'll get on to Salmonator's statements a bit later, but if you've been a regular watcher of the review show, you know I've got in there that Within the Law will win the T-Rose in 2 weeks' time. And then I think she can go on and win the flight stakes, because Within the Law is showing some really good potential this preparation. Even last preparation, she showed that she was a good 2-year-old filly on the rise. Within the Law is in the flight stakes for the Futures Bet Series. I'm not going to add anything more into Salmonator's statements out of today, but I'm going to give myself a tick for one of the statements I made. Barrakill, the leading Moir contender, but short. I put this statement in after it won the Norman Carline 2 weeks ago. I thought it was the leading Moir contender, but if you guys remember, after that Norman Carline win, it was $5 in the Moir market. On Sportsbet, it ended up starting $6, so I was right. It was the leading Moir contender in which it won the Moir, and it was too short at the $5. It ended up starting $6 and winning, so I'm giving myself a tick for that. I can't believe I got off. I said, Escher will win now, but I should have stuck with Barrakill, should have stuck to my guns, but nonetheless, it was in Salmonator's statements, so I'm giving myself a tick. Thanks everyone for watching the review show. Great to have your company, and until next video, bye for now.